Hello friends, welcome to iExamB's Law Exam channel Legal B. Today in this video we are going to talk about IBPS SO Law Officer exam which is supposed to be held in December and January. We are going to have a discussion on the law syllabus, what all acts are there in the law syllabus. Also we will try to analyze in detail the previous year law papers, the mains paper of 2020 and 2021. You can also download the previous year papers from the description. You can find the link in the description below. In the detailed analysis, we will try to understand what are the list of important acts from which question came in 2020 and 2021, and also the number of questions that came from each act. First of all, the important dates. As per the IBPS calendar, the Specialist Officer Prelims exam is expected to be held on 24th and 31st of December, and the mains exam is expected to be held on 29th of January. Every year the IBPS SO exam is in December and January. Last year the notification came in November. So this year also we are expecting the notification will be out in the month of November. After November you will have 2 months for prelims and 3 months for mains. Thus if you want to appear for this exam, now is the right time to start your preparation, and the best thing is look at the previous year papers to understand which are the important areas from which questions come. First of all, the important act is Constitution. In 2020 there were 10 questions from Constitution. In 21 there were 3 questions. From Contract Act there were 5 questions in 2020 and 6 in 2021. From Specific Relief Act there were 2 in 2020 and no question in 21. Next is Transfer of Property Act. There was 1 question in 2020 and 6 in 2021. From CPC 5 in 2020 and 2 in 2021. From Criminal Procedure Code 3 in 2020, 4 in 2021. From IPC you can see there were 3 in 2020, 3 in 2021. From Evidence there were 2 in each of the years. From Limitation Act also there were 2. From Companies Act in 2020 there were 7. In 21 there were 4. From IBC there were 2 and 3 respectively. From Limited Liability Partnership there was 1 in 2020 and no question in 2021. From Partnership Act there were 2 in 2020 and 3 in 21. From Competition Act there was 1 each in both the years. Further, from torts there were 2 questions in 2020. From Legal Maxim also 1 in 2020. From Arbitration and Conciliation Act 2 questions in each of the years. RTI, IT, RBI, these 3 acts were there in 2020 but there was no question in 2021. From Negotiable Instrument Act there was 1 question in 2020 and 4 in 2021. From Recovery of Debt due to Bank and Financial Institution Act there was 1 in 2020 and 2 in 2021. From Banking Regulation Act there was no question in 2020 and 1 question in 2021. From Hindu Laws, Hindu Succession Act, Indian Succession Act, there was 1 question each in 2020 but no question in 2021. From Securities Law, that is SEBI and SCRA, there was 1 question each in 2020 but no question in 2021. In 2021 there were some other acts from which there were questions. One was SURFACI Act from which there were 2 questions. Then from FEMA there was 1 question. Then from Legal Service Authorities Act, which is also Lok Adalat Act, there were 2 questions. From Consumer Protection Act there was 1 question. From Industrial Dispute Act, which is a part of labor laws, there was 1 question. From Payment and Settlement Act and Indian Stamp Act there were 2 questions each. Since the syllabus of IBPS SO Law Mains is not defined, you have to prepare a large number of acts, but the level of questions is usually moderate. You can check that out from the previous year papers. This is the previous year paper of 2020, and if you see, the very first question was very easy. What is the enforcement date of Constitution of India, which is 26 January 1950. Then the next question, which of the following is not a fundamental right, which is right to property. So you can go through the previous year paper and understand what are the level of questions that come in IBPS SO mains exam. And similarly, you can find the 2021 paper from the description below and check out the questions. The first question was from Negotiable Instrument Act. A promissory note payable by installments must be presented for payment on the dash after the date fixed for payment of each installment. Section 67 of the Negotiable Instrument Act defines this and talks about presentment for payment of promissory note payable by installments, and the correct answer is third day. It should be presented for payment on the third day. Then the next question is, what is the maximum amount of interim compensation that can be granted by the court under Negotiable Instrument Act? That is mentioned under section 143A of the Negotiable Instrument Act, and the correct answer is 20%. So you can have a look at the previous year papers. This will help you a lot in understanding the pattern of the questions, in understanding the level of the questions. So looking at these previous year questions, looking at these distribution of questions, we can understand that the entire law syllabus can be broken into 4 parts. Part 1 is the most common acts which you already know, which you have prepared in your graduation, in your LLB degree. For these, the strategy is to revise all the important sections, all the relevant sections. Then part 2 is laws which require overview and generic knowledge. And for this you have to go through the key provisions and read the important sections of these acts. Part 3 is laws requiring thorough reading, and for these again your understanding should be a thorough reading, thorough understanding, detailed understanding of the part 3 topics. In part 1 you will mostly find your CPC, CRPC, IPC, Constitution. In part 2 you will find Companies Act, Competition Act, IBC, which are very huge. So for these you will be having the key provisions reading. Part 3 includes the various miscellaneous acts like RTI Act, IT Act, torts, consumer protection, arbitration and conciliation, which are very important as we can see from the previous year paper analysis. Part 4 include your banking laws, which are very important for IBPS SO because you are preparing for banking law officer exams, and again the strategy is thorough reading. If you look at what all acts come under part 1, pause the screen, take a screenshot and write down the syllabus, write down the list of important acts. You have seen how many questions came from Constitution, from civil and criminal laws, and from contract laws. These are very important and cannot be left out. Then part 2 includes your commercial laws and legal theory. You can see there were questions from the commercial laws in both the years, but there was no question from the legal theory. There was no question from jurisprudence, admin law. There was one question from the legal maxim. So these are the areas from which you can understand the important aspects. The part 3 includes law of torts, consumer protection, arbitration and conciliation, then law of trust, taxation law, Foreign Exchange Management Act, Information Technology Act, Right to Information Act, Legal Service Authorities Act, Registration Act, Indian Stamp Act, Sale of Goods Act, Industrial Disputes Act. So whatever I have tick marked are the acts from which there were questions over the past 2 years. In 2019 exam, there were 2-3 questions from RERA Act, and there has been 1 or 2 questions from taxation or law of trust, and that is why these also become important to be read. Then part 4 includes your banking laws, RBI Act, Banking Regulation Act, Negotiable Instrument SARFAESI, Bankers Books Evidence Act, Banking Ombudsman Scheme, Recovery of Debt due to Bank and Financial Institution, Credit Information Bureau, Banking Companies Acquisition and Transfer of Undertaking, Payments and Settlement System Act. At iExamB, we offer IBPS SO Law online course, and at present we are giving a flat 37% off. In this course, we provide crisp content, video lectures. We also take live classes for doubt clearing. We provide a lot of questions in the form of chapter test, section test, mock test. Another important thing that we are adding is the summary sheets. For all the major acts, we are adding the summary sheets, so you can refer to those summary sheets and quickly revise the important sections of various acts. Also, iExamB is your one-stop solution for all the legal exam preparation. We offer online courses for Banking Law Officer, IBPS SO Law and IBPS RRB Scale 2 Law. Also, we have Banking Law Officer Scale 2 online courses which are announced by various banks from time to time. For example, we had Central Bank of India last year, SBI and PNB the year before. So we offer online course for direct recruitment to Scale 2 Law Officer. We also have Coal India Law Officer and Regulatory Bodies Law Officer online courses, RBI Grade B Law Officer, SEBI Grade A Legal Officer, NABARD Grade A Legal Officer. And we are also ready to provide you online courses for Insurance Law Officer as and when the notification comes. If you have any doubts, you can call us on this number that is mentioned on the screen, or you can write your queries to us at hello@iexamb.com. You can also drop your queries in the comment below. Subscribe to our Legal B channel. Download the previous year papers from the description below. Wish you all the luck for your preparation. Thank you.